Hey, it's Sunday. Sorry about the delay. Looks like we lost our Facebook stream for some reason. But anyway, looks like LinkedIn and YouTube are all right. So anyway, welcome to Steve's Place. It's Sunday around 6 p.m. on that Sunday, April 12th. And I welcome you all here. Sorry about last week. Last week was Easter Sunday, as you all know, and we kind of took the day off, and we had company over, and I couldn't get loose to do this. So anyway, tonight we're going to have a really good speaker with Micha. He's going to be talking a little bit about some radionic devices on that, and the good science behind them and everything. For a machine that most people would consider impossible. I know it was back in the 80s and 90s, and the only place you could find this information was at Global Sciences, and I have all those videos online, by the way. So if you get a chance, you may want to become a member of our YouTube channel and check it out. Uh, some of the key players in the field have been like Jerry Friedenstein, Sarah Hieronymus, um, and there's a couple others out there that spoke on many aspects then. They were the pioneers. You're not going to get this kind of information anywhere else. So, if you get a chance, go up to our YouTube channel. On our YouTube channel, go up to testtech.info, see the yellow box here. Click on the Test Tech channel. You can go there and get it. Subscribe to our channel, and subscriptions are free. They notify you whenever we put new stuff on there. If you uh, put the thing where you get notified, we are going to be adding a lot of stuff this month. Um, I have some people coming in. Hopefully, it'll be this month, and 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 our guy will take and be converting all of our Tesla Society VHS tapes into DVDs and also in MP4s to be placed on YouTube as members only videos. Anyway, if I am missing the 1991 and the 1996 Tesla Society videos, so if any of you happen to see that or have those, give me a call, 520-252-0374 after the show, of course, and let me know, and maybe we can make a deal with you. Anyway, uh, those I'm looking for those. Once we get those, we'll be putting them up online, and I just want to emphasize um, we have a membership for $9.99, which you get everything, you know, and we have over 1,500 videos up there. Um, and a lot of them are free. I think we have a couple hundred for free, but most of them you have to be a member. So I encourage you to go ahead, join for $9.99. It's well worth the money. And like I say, we're getting ready to go full Monty on the Tesla Society videos. So the other thing I'd like to emphasize here is that if you join and become a YouTube channel, you get advanced notice on all of our YouTube things, and it helps support us. It helps give us the funds to go out and do these conversions and everything and locate more material. Like I say, this material a lot of times is really hard to find, and we're trying to put as much as possible here. But probably the most important thing is every video we have online, we have a DVD for. So if YouTube gets a hair up and they yank a video, which they have in the past, you can always order the DVD from me. If you have a question, just give me a call. I'm here most days and nights. Okay. Our big thing right now, though, is our magazines. I've been putting magazines together since 1984. Okay, first for the Tesla Society, and then later on with Exotic Research. And what I have available is our Exotic Research, the Extraordinary Technology magazines, and our Extraordinary Science and Technology magazines. These are all great. They're great issues, Uh, right now, as I sort through them and stack them up in the back, I looked through some of these and wow, this information is just as good today as it was back then. You know, and some of it is just now walking into its own right now because before um, people might have questioned it, but now this is the hot stuff. You know, and we were there long before a lot of people were. You know, starting with the drones, you know, and everything. Or if you look at one of our old extraordinary technology, we have the super weapons there, you know. And we also had, of course, have the basics, you know, with the Tesla coils, the anti-gravity, the geek technology, all this stuff. We even have plans for some of this stuff in the magazine. So you're getting not only the information, general information, but also hardcore technical information that you can use and build from. So get a chance. You might want to order all three sets at once, $200, and it gets you all of them, you know. Um, it's a good $300 value, but here you're only getting it for 200. So if you get a chance, order the set. It helps us out in a big way, you know. And anyway, now that's all done. Now the main thing, August 12th to 16th. Mark your calendars. We're going to have a conference in Albuquerque. It's going to be at the Crown Plaza. I'll be probably by Friday. You should be able to sign up for that. In fact, I'll be talking to them tomorrow. And for those who haven't been there before, it's a nice hotel. I mean, it's right in the middle of the intersection of Interstate 40 and Interstate 25, literally right in the center there. And we'll have basically have the whole hotel, you know, during that time. And so you can come down, check out our expos, you know, check out the speakers. At night, you know, we have a social time, and we have refreshments, you know, in the evenings, and you'll be able to sit and you know, chow down with the speakers and get to know these people, you know, get to know the shakers and the makers of today and tomorrow. And not only that, a lot of these guys are going to have their technology hands on right there on site, you know, and you'll be able to go in the expo room, check out their table, see the devices, you know. If you're nice enough, they might even let you touch it, you know. But yeah, this is a chance that you won't have anywhere else, and it's an opportunity to do for those who are investors to do your due diligence right there in one spot without having to go from place to place to place. You take your list of people you're interested in, check them out right there, and then maybe go into more detail with them at their own places. But here's the place where it all happens in person. There's, you know, even though we'll have a live stream later, nothing can replace a live person. You know, it's like me in the screen. You know, you can see me on the screen, but it's nothing like actually shaking my hand or saying hi. And you can make a better judgment on people when you see them in person. And without further ado, I want to just mention our live stream. You can go online still. Just go to our website, teslatech.info, and click on our Tesla images and it'll take you up to where you can actually buy products and actually get the videos on demand for 2024 and 2025. And like I say, it's a great opportunity, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you at the conference. Looking forward to seeing you at the conference, and also getting our magazines. And the great thing about the magazines, okay, is that if the power goes out and we have a nuclear exchange like we almost did this week, and the power goes out, you can still read the magazines. You know, that's the beautiful thing about paper. You know, keep it on you at all times. And without further ado, let me bring up our guest for tonight. Let me see. I gotta do some things here. Yeah, let me bring up our guest tonight, Micha Eizen, and he's been with us before, and he's always has a lot of stuff that's really truly interesting, and and he's been coming to our conferences for quite a while. He's going to be speaking at our conference, by the way, and you'll be able to actually touch some of this stuff there. To feel the effects of it. Right, Micah? Mika?
Yep.
Yeah. And so, why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself, Mika?
Okay, my name is Micha Eizen. I'm a technical in nature since my birth in many different fields. I I happen to bring solutions to different issues that other people cannot see, or they don't come up with them. So this is the theme of my life, always thinking, inventing, improving, finding other solutions that really work and people appreciate them and love them and use them. So I love very much what I do. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to keep learning every day, improving, and serving the collective of people that really want to be at the cutting edge of health, technology, and to bring the new human and the fabulous world that we deserve to have. So that's in a nutshell about me. So I'm an engineer, healer, musician, inventor, chemist, um, and I have a lot of knowledge in many different disciplinaries, which are helping me to come up with all these solutions that I come up with. So that's in a nutshell.
Okay, and I went ahead and put up your screen. So if you wanted to, you could just jump right off into your presentation.
Okay. So tonight I would like to discuss, share with you information that maybe not all of it is known to you, maybe most of it is not known. So I prepared something that will be very simple to understand, and I think it's very interesting to know that these things really exist. So the title of this presentation is Tesla regarding health as well. And the subtitle is Amplify Your Intent to Realize Health and anything actually that you want to have in your life, which sounds a bit strange right now, but it will be much more friendlier as we go along with this presentation. So it is very simple, no equations, don't be afraid, but we will just start with a backdrop of things that we know. Some of the classic physics laws and some of the newer physics phenomena that many people know about. So let's look at some laws of physics. According to Newtonian physics, Newton, he was talking about that when there is a force that doing something, it creates a change. So as you can see in the right side, see a man pushing a box. So the man applies a force, and if the box is not moving, the box applies counter and equal force to stop that force that the man is pushing the box. So he says here that the force of the man equals to the force that the box applies. If the man would push harder, maybe the box would move. So that would be the result of that force applied on the box. So when we have a few forces, not only one, like we see here, so all the forces are working together, and there will be a total of all the forces that eventually will come to what we call an equilibrium. So all the forces that are canceling each other will cancel each other, and whatever will be at the end will be the result of all the system of the forces that are applied together. This is classic physics. It's very logical and makes sense, I hope, for everyone. We are jumping a little into the less known physics phenomena. And I refer to what we call quantum mechanics or quantum physics. This is totally different ballgame. It's not Newton anymore. It's looking into the subatomic particles, very small particles, how do they behave? And we are finding that they behave very differently from what our senses are telling us. For example, they are telling us that if we are looking at these small particles, they change. But if we don't look at them, they don't change. And that was proven many years ago, which sounds very strange. How can it be? So you can see at the bottom right, you see the shadow of a man. The top one is looking away from what looked like an arrow, a wavy arrow. So that is symbolizing a wave. But when the man is looking at that wave, something happens. The waves become what we call a particle. Only because the man or the observer is observing and looking at that wave. How can it be? Well, we'll make it very simple. The very fact of observing is actually adding another force, another something to the equation, to all the forces that are working together. Even just by looking, it's not only looking, as we will see. But anyway, the fact is that just by observing these subatomic particles, they behave differently. And this is what we are going to talk about. What does it mean and how it can benefit us? So according to the quantum mechanics, the observer changes the outcome because he is interjecting his own forces or force into the measured system or the field or the ether. So what will happen at the end will be a different outcome because it includes his influence. So by looking at something, we are influencing it, and it makes a change because it's not only looking, we are focusing, we have thoughts, we have beliefs, we have hopes. All these are forces, although the naked eye cannot see these forces, but they exist. And the proof is that they are changing how things behave. Now, there's another niche, you can say, of quantum Bayesianism and the N-frame model. And these are proposing that the observer's beliefs and expectations, they can and they do influence the outcome, which may sound very strange, but this is what many experiments are showing. So let's look at some other quantum mechanics phenomena. When I say phenomena, I mean these things are proven to, they really happen when the experiments are done. There's something that's called quantum entanglement. What is quantum entanglement? Scientists found, or physicists found, that if they take two particles that they are somehow invisibly connected with each other, communicating with each other, we cannot see that communication. Well, what happens is that whatever happens to one particle immediately reflects what happens to the entangled particle. It's like twins, and they can be, it doesn't matter how far they are between each other, they are somehow connected, communicating. So whatever happens to one, we know, and we can check and test and prove that it happens to the other one. This is very strange, but it's for real. So you see, we don't know, we cannot maybe explain everything, but we can observe what these two twin particles are doing. They are like entangled. There is communication between them. So let me read here what I wrote for you. Quantum entanglement is a phenomenon where two or more particles share a single united quantum state. So they behave like the same, meaning their properties are so strongly correlated that measuring one instantly reveals the state of the other, regardless of the distance. So in quantum physics, distance it's not a factor. Meaning that when we force one particle to change, the other one will change as well, instantaneously. There is no time delay, which is also very interesting. A concept which Albert Einstein famously described as spooky action at a distance. Einstein had a big issue with this because he could not explain how it works, why it works. So he didn't like it, to be honest. So you see even the way that he called it spooky action at a distance, I mean, he saw that it was for real, but nobody could explain it. So it's really different from the Einsteinian relativity and all these things. So when we look at all these things and we take them into account, what we just talked about, it's easy to connect the dots, and we see how we, as observers, that just looking at what's going on in these experiments, we can influence the outcome of potential timeline possibilities. What I mean here is that we believe that there are many, many realities or timelines, and by us observing what's happening, we can change which timeline will manifest. Timeline means reality, which can be different. So there are like endless amount of different realities that can happen to us, or we can experience them. And just by us observing, we can change which timeline we are going to experience. And here I'm hinting towards the benefit of knowing all this, as we will see shortly. So, can the power of belief or intention affect our personal reality? This is exactly what we were talking about, that when we look or observe, it's not just looking. We have thoughts, intentions, beliefs, hopes, fears, many things. It's not just trivial looking and nothing more. So connecting all the dots with this information that we just talked about makes us able to ponder about these unexplainable healing, what we call miracles, that people experience due to what may be their strong will, hope, willpower, intention, and belief. So now we can see that maybe it has to do with what people think, intend, hope, and believe. Maybe it is changing their personal experience, their personal timeline or personal reality that they go through. What about a placebo effect? You know, the placebo effect, there is nothing in that pill or capsule that they give to people, but they get well, they heal. How come? So even this points towards the power of belief, because the patient or the person believe that what they gave him is a real healing something. It has powers, although it doesn't have anything. It's like sugar pill or something. So how come there is healing? How come healing takes place? So there is something more than meets the eye. What about the power of prayers? You know, we don't pray, or most of us pray. It doesn't have to be in a religious way, in a church or synagogue or something, or we are seeing things in our imagination, we are visualizing things, and you know, we know that sometimes when people imagine and they pray and they hope, something changes, and they can experience different reality, a reality or a timeline that they really prefer to have versus what they experienced before, which involves maybe strong intent because the people really want it. And statistically, we can see that more people get success by doing these things versus people that are not using these free tools we got from our creator. And then our assumption, the law of attraction. I'm sure many heard about these things. Law of vibration, which Tesla talked about also. Silver mind control, and many more. I mean, there are endless examples and people that made and showed a connection or connections between what we think, what we believe, what we intend, and the outcome of our life, our reality that we experience at a personal level. Dr. Masaru Emoto, we remember him with everything he did with blessing water and cursing water. The water reacted differently, as if they heard, they felt the energy of love towards the water or hate towards the water, and they changed the molecular arrangement, which everything is proven with his beautiful photos under the microscope lens. So how can it be, right, that we talk to the water and the water change in a measurable, reproducible way? What about all these stories about that, you know, the priest or shaman blessed water and then gave people to drink the water and they got better? What's going on here? So this is what this slide is asking. Can the power of belief, intention, affect our personal reality? So let me share with you a few cool facts about applications of these phenomena using technological devices. Until now, we talked about what people hope, believe, afraid of, wish inside the body, inside the mind, inside the heart. And now we are going to talk about technological devices, electrical in nature, of course, that have shown to even take these things further than we may believe. Let's talk about one of the biggest heroes, Luc Montagnier. He passed away a few years ago. He was a Nobel laureate. I mean, he won a Nobel Prize for his work on the HIV and other things. He was a very genius and brilliant scientist. So look what he did. He did an experiment. He took a fragment of DNA, okay, put it in a vial, a glass vial. Look at the bottom right of the slide. You see there like three things connected. So there's the vial, and you see that it's above like a little vessel with coil. So he put that vial in that coil, and this is connected to an electrical amplifier, and then it's connected to a computer, a PC. So what he DNA in the vial, put it inside the coil. The coil had very low frequency, 7 hertz, 7 cycles per second, that was radiating toward the vial. And it was recording what comes out from the vial. So it was not a microphone, but it was recording it in a sensing the vibrations, the spectrum of frequencies that was reflected back from the vial. So that coil that the vial was also transmitting and also receiving. So it was used like a speaker and a microphone. Okay? So this is what Luc Montagnier did. So he put the vial in such an arrangement for 18 hours. After 18 hours, the computer recorded all these frequencies that was not audible at all. I mean, he could not hear anything, but something was recorded. And then they made an audio file with all these frequencies. Okay. They sent this audio file, they emailed it, just that audio file. They emailed it to another very distant lab, and the other lab did everything in reverse to what Luc Montagnier did in the first lab. And guess what happened? They took another vial that had only pure water, put it in that coil, and they played to the second vial that file that was recorded from the first vial that had the DNA in the first lab. And guess what happened? Like in a miracle, the second vial that had only water restructured the DNA that was in the first vial. Just by listening to that set of frequencies that was recorded from the first vial, it worked in reverse as well. This is what he did. And guess what? He got a patent on this. You can see on the right side, it says DNA, waves, and water. And he did it with a team, and he was the leader of the whole set of experiments. You can see his photo here on the right, top right of the four photos. This was extraordinary. I mean, nobody has ever done this before. It's like unexplainable. It worked. And the DNA that was copied or restructured was 98% accurate, like identical, almost 100% identical to the DNA that was in the first vial, which makes you wonder, like, really? What is going on here? But this is all factual. And this is a very serious man, Nobel laureate. He was very serious in what he did. Okay, let's move on. Another interesting guy that maybe some of us don't know, Thomas Galen Hieronymus, was an American electrical engineer and radionics pioneer. Here we are meeting the word radionics for the first time. He coined the term eloptic, which is a combination of two words, electrical and optical. So he coined this word eloptic, because he didn't know how else to call the information that he got from his experiments. So he believed that there was the way he described it, a non-electromagnetic force that was emitted by all matter, meaning he believed that every material, everything around us emanates or radiates something that he didn't know how to prove it. So he called it optic, because it was electrical and optical, according to his way of doing things. And he believed that he could monitor and trace that energy that was radiated. He could analyze. Machine in 1949. Here's the patent number, US patent number. The name of the patent was Detection of Emanations from Materials and Measurement Volumes. I mean, this is very serious. I don't know how many of you know that when anybody applies for a patent, you know what the job of the patent office is to find any reason that they can come up with to decline the submission. This is their job. Their job is to say, oh, somebody already did it. You know, you are not entitled to get a patent for what you are applying for. So if this guy got a patent, that means that the patent office, at least the US patent office, could not find anything that could negate his application. And this is a big deal. I can tell you, as somebody as an inventor, I applied for many patents. I have quite a few of them on my name, and it's a struggle. It's a constant struggle to argue with the patent office, and sometimes they tell you, no, you have to change the wording so we can consider maybe to grant you the patent or not. It can take years, 2 years, 3 years, when it's successful, until you get a patent. So he got it. That means they could not negate what he came up with, which is something to appreciate, I would say. So what is the Hieronymus machine? You know, his name was Hieronymus. So let's read a little. The original radiation analyzer which he built. And you can see in the photo on the right side how a typical machine looks. You see dials and knobs, and then on the top, center top, you see it what looks like a little cavity that you put inside the sample or a photo or something. And look at the bottom right of the photo, there is a plate, rectangular black plate. This is a very important part of the machine. So let's keep on reading. So the radiation analyzer consisted of a chamber, which is the top center, to hold a sample of material or a photo, a glass prism to refract the eloptic, remember the electrical, optical, just like Luc Montagnier did. There was a copper coil around this cavity. On a meaning, in simple English, he had these dials and knobs that could turn things in order to get a radio tuner. Just is tuning itself to different frequencies of the station. The same idea. It's like a tuning. Okay. No sound, but it's tuned to what he was calling eloptic, something that radiates from anything. Okay, so this is the nature of this machine that he invented. So the operator of this machine learned how to detect and to fine tune to the exact frequency or the signal that comes from whatever they put inside the chamber of the machine. And there was a set of amplifiers. The first models have tubes, then he changed it to transistors, but it did the same thing. So there was an amplification there, and there was, you see, a bifilar coil. This is something that Tesla did a lot. Bifilar means a coil that has two wires wound together, and you can conduct current only in one wire, and is transmitting electromagnetic waves into the second wire, which is there inside the coil. And this is already a hint for us to what we call scalar. Scalar can be produced with a bifilar coil, as we will see shortly. So you see, so the machine had the tuning, and the machine had a coil, a special coil, bifilar coil, that can produce scalar field or scalar energy. Okay. Now, the way that this tuning apparatus worked had to depend on the skills of the operator, of the user of the machine. So remember, I told you about the plate on the lower right part of the machine, the flat area. So what the user did, he had to put his finger and move his own finger on that plate, while he was, with the other hand, turning the knobs, and he was trying to feel the frequency, the right frequency. When he pinpointed, when he found it, his finger felt like tingling. This is how it worked. So it needed a lot of experience, and the operator had to be very sensitive to these small, very minute, tiny nuances of how his finger is feeling as he's moving it across this plate. This was interesting, but this is how this machine worked. You see, so the state of tingling or stickiness when the right energy was, or the frequency of the energy was detected. So you see, part of the operation, successful operation of this machine, was the human nervous system, because a human had to sense that, oh, that's it, my fingers feeling that tingling effect or stickiness to the plate. It was not electrifying, but it was strong enough to feel something. This is how this machine was designed to function. And guess, well, we talked about, he got a patent on this machine. You see, on the right side of this slide, you can see the patent number, his signature, his name, Thomas Galen Hieronymus. And we already talked about that this is a big deal to get a patent on such a weird device. Let's read a little here. Hieronymus claimed that his instruments could diagnose and treat diseases remotely. That's new. That's different. Analyze ore samples and even influence plant growth by transmitting scalar energy or alloptic signature, in his words. And, you know, many people laughed at him, but his work was used by companies like 3M. 3M didn't laugh. They needed solutions. They needed people to tell them what's going on, what goes wrong in their production. So they used him and his machines to solve real industrial problems. It was not a joke. So Hieronymus' original business model was to sell his machines to doctors, because they could analyze very quickly and rather accurately diseases, what's wrong with the patient. But sales apparently dried up when the medical practitioners realized that they were curing their patients too fast and losing business. You see, the machine worked, the technology worked, and they really healed people fast. So they didn't like it, because they lost their patients. You know, healed patient is a lost customer for the medical profession. So that tells you something, that this worked. It was not a joke. It was not a hoax. So he didn't sell many healing machines for doctors, but then eventually a new use emerged and was needed for the Hieronymus device. The inventor turned his sights on making a safer place by reducing insecticide use, which is also sounds crazy. The idea was simple. You take a photo of your field, a photo, smear a little bit of pesticide on the photo, and put the photo in the machine, the Hieronymus machine, the chamber, and let the energy or the scalar or the radionics or the eloptic, let it do the rest. And it did. The resulting energy signature output of the Hieronymus machine would be sufficient to kill off the insects that were infecting the plants while maintaining the health and integrity of the plant itself, according to an article on the internet called Clean Farming Through Radionics and the Discoveries of Thomas Galen Hieronymus. So let's make it very simple. Here we have a machine that you use this machine instead of spending endless money he came up with something that was amazing. You take this machine, you put a photo of your field, and you don't need to spray anything. I mean, it sounds crazy, right? And let me remind us all that farmers, they are very down to earth people. I mean, if this would not work, they would not pay and they would not order the service of such a machine, the Hieronymus machine. But guess what? They paid because it worked, and it saved them tons of money instead of buying pesticides and paying for people to apply them. It was dirt cheap to use the services of the Hieronymus machine. But on the other side, you can understand and guess who didn't like the Hieronymus machine, right? All the companies that take pesticides, they didn't like that such a machine exists, just like the doctor, like, because it worked too good, too fast, healed too fast. So now you can understand that even if somebody comes, just like Tesla, with the greatest invention, it threatens somebody else that makes money off of selling something else that the machine can do much better. So let's keep on reading here. Thomas Galen Hieronymus' original eloptic machines were reported to successfully heal crop fields and eradicate pests through a remote treatment. You see the field, the crop field, be miles away. Remember in the beginning of our the slides, in the scalar, the quantum field doesn't care about distance. Remember that particle entanglements, it doesn't matter how far the particles are, they are connected somehow. They don't care how far they are from each other. Same here. It didn't matter how far was the Hieronymus machine from crop field of the critters and bugs and whatever. it worked remotely. So actually it used symbolic representation rather than physical contact. I mean, you take a photo, right? The photo is not the field, it's a photo. And now we know, I'll give you a spoiler alert, the energy needs to know where to go or whom to go to. So a photo is enough for the energy to know, oh, we need to go there or to go to that person and heal that person remotely. This is why the photographs are a way shower for the energy where to go or whom to go. It can be a field, a person, an animal, a pet, a plant, a fish, or a situation, which we will touch shortly. Key documented successes include eradication of insects from farms by placing a photograph of an infested field and a sample bag. So they took one bag, put it in that chamber inside the Hieronymus machine with the photo, and that was it. And the machine did the rest and emanated the right energy, information, whatever you want to call it, because the farmer had a strong will to get rid of the bugs. So you see, the farmer, in this case, was the observer, just like we talked in the beginning. He interjected his own willpower to get rid of the issue. And the machine amplified, you can say, his willpower and remotely sent it to that field that needed or the farm or whatever, and really got the desired results that the farmer had. And this was all documented. And believe me, if it didn't work, the farmers didn't pay, but they paid happy because it worked and it saved them money. So here, placing a photograph of an infested field and a sample of a bug into the device, which resulted in the parasites being cleared from fields miles away. Specific agricultural success stories, insect eradication. In a notable experiment, a scientist from Pennsylvania Farm Bureau placed a photo of an insect-infested field and a small amount of insecticide in the machine. 48 hours later, all insects in the infected field located many miles away were dead. Factual. It's not a legend. So what's going on? How is it possible? We keep on going here. Pathogen and pest control. The machines were used to disassemble, meaning to kill, or transmute pathogens, meaning bacteria and insects, effectively curing pathogenic diseases in plants and trees without direct physical intervention. You see somebody miles away sits with this machine, just the photo, and what the issue is. It can be, you know, a disease or a bug or something, and it resolved without even going to the field, doing nothing physically outside. But there is more. As we keep reading, the machine could do growth enhancement, meaning a farmer could bring a photo of the crop and ask the operator of the Hieronymus machine, please, I want you to transmit energy that my crops will grow much bigger or much faster. Document methods of growing healthy green plants. Here is another thing that he was able to show, that he could grow plants in total darkness by using the help of this. Imagine growing plants in a dark basement, no sunlight. The only thing that was done, but no sunlight, total darkness. But with this, the help of this machine, for the scalar energy, the grew completely successfully in total darkness. It was proven also, and it was detailed, as you can see here, in 1949 patent. And there is more. He was able to do genetic hybridization. You know, when they try to hybrid the trees or fruits or vegetables to get a better type of produce. A scalar energy instrument, which was a modification of the original one, was allegedly utilized to transfer the genome of a pecan tree into a walnut tree, resulting in a hybridized walnut tree possessing the generic makeup of both species. Does this sound a little familiar to what Luc Montagnier, the French Nobel laureate, did, which transferring, copying information from one vial to another lab many miles away and getting successful results? So this guy did it in 1949. Luc Montagnier did it in the 90s. But it sounds kind of familiar. Okay, we keep on reading here. Theoretical basis and of operation of the Hieronymus machine. So there we have this electrical optical energy. The devices operated on the principle of elliptic energy, a term Hieronymus derived from combining electrical and optical, described as radiation that is not electromagnetic. By the way, this is one of the characteristics of scalar energy. It's not electromagnetic, meaning when you come close to the coils with a compass, which is magnetic by nature, the compass doesn't move. It's not affected by the scalar energy that is generated from these coils. So it's not electromagnetic, but exhibits characteristics of both. This is how he understood it, electrical and optical. Symbolic operation. The machines function by detecting the unique frequency or emanation of the subject. As we said, the photo or the critter or an ore or something. The operators could treat the original subject remotely by manipulating a photograph, sample, or even a printed circuit diagram of the machine. Now look at the bottom right photo, the black and white one. In the photo, you can see the top right of the photo that there is not a real machine, there is a drawing of a machine. You can see the electrical symbols of a vacuum tube and connectors and resistor here. And then, well, they were printed with ink on paper, and the ink was conductive, because almost any ink is conductive because it has carbon in it, and carbon is conductive. And then you see two white wires. You see go to the sensing plate that the left hand of the operator is, his hand is on the sensing plate, and the right hand is holding a pen or paper. And people were able to detect this elliptic energy by using a machine that was not even a real machine. It was on paper, and it worked also because the operating people were sensitive, very sensitive to sense frequency or elliptic or scalar or whatever you want to call it. They were able to sense it, and they were accurate enough to bring results, to yield results. So, and the detection method, as we spoke before, operator would tune the device dials to the subject's frequency indicated by feeling stickiness or tingling sensation on that reaction pad, allowing them to direct energy to heal or destroy specific elements in the field or anything else. But mostly these machines were used for agricultural purposes. So we can see already hints that there were some limitations of this Hieronymus machine. It was very subjective. It had machines the user dependency, and this was a significant constraint because depending on the operator skill, and only 20% of users could achieve this stick sensation immediately. 60% of the operators require extensive practice. So you can see even that you have 20% that could do it quickly, plus 60%, you only get 80%, not 100%. And here in the photo on the right side, you can see another paper Hieronymus machine. You see, and he has some green triangular something that he can turn, and his right hand is on the printed sensing area. So it was very dependent on the skill of the operator. And then they found out that they had environmental constraints. Direct sunlight didn't good thing. Strong magnetic fields influence everything. Fluorescent lights can interfere. So many things could sabotage the sensitivity of the user and could not fine tune to find the exact frequency. And then they found out another interesting thing, that even if they changed the positioning of the components, remember they were drawn on a piece of paper, but if they drew them in a different order, I mean the connections were done correctly, the wires and everything, but they put them in a different arrangement on the paper, the machine didn't work. The printed paper machine didn't work. The symbols didn't work. So now we can understand that although there were many success stories, it was not easy to operate this machine, the real machine or the paper printed machine. So that was an issue. So I want to introduce to some of you that don't know, I want to introduce a website that you can go online as we speak, and you will find some along the lines of what we are talking about here. The name of the website is infopathy.com, as you can see at the top of my slide. So what is infopathy.com? It's a website that's you can buy IC with round thing of conductive to buy this pad, physical pad, okay, and look at the bottom right photo. You connect the pad to your cell phone. You see the wire, the black wire. You put on the round printed area a glass of water or a bottle of water. Okay, so why is it connected to your cell phone? Because in that website, infopathy.com, you can buy waveforms, files of audio frequencies that when you put the water, the glass of water or the bottle of water on that pad, and you download the file from the website, it costs almost nothing, and you play the audio file through the pad to the water above that is on the pad. Water are changing their structure, and they can become a vitamin, a medicine, antidepressant. I mean, the water doesn't change the color or anything, but the structure of the water changes, just like Luc Montagnier did with his vials of the DNA. So they are using it, and they sell today, as we speak, more than 4,000 different files. You want to drink vitamin C? Okay, you take a glass of water, you put it on this little black pad. You download the vitamin C file from the website infopathy.com to your phone. You play. You don't hear anything. It's not like a speaker that you hear music or something. And that played frequency is changing the structure of the water, and then you drink the water and you get the attributes as if you took a pill or a capsule of vitamin C. For example, you have a headache, you have a file for that. You have joint pains, you have a file for that. You want CBD, you want to have the attributes of weed without smoking weed, download the file. And thousands of contributors are doing this work. They take different substances, herbs, vitamins, minerals, moods, and they produce these audio files or frequencies. They offer them for sale on this website. I've seen it in operation. And let me tell you an interesting story. This was when I was at the Tesla Tech a few years ago. A guy came to me. I was there. I was a vendor too. I was selling my skincare, the healthiest mineral deodorant on earth, and the hydrogen machine. And the guy introduced himself. He was working for Philip Morris, the biggest cigarette company in the world. He was an Italian guy. And we started to talk and talk and talk. And I don't know how we came to talk about this technology that we are now talking about, infopathy.com. And I told him, listen, there is a technology to take water and to transform the water to something else. I thought for a moment, and said, wait a minute, are you telling me that I can take water, a glass of water, and with some file, I can uh, put the attributes of nicotine, smoking, nicotine, into the water? I said, yeah. Meaning, the when the user will drink the water, he will not feel the taste of nicotine, but the molecular structure of the water has all the attributes that nicotine would do in the body without buying tobacco, without buying cigarettes, without buying nicotine. He will have the nicotine attributes already structured in the water. The guy was blown away. He said, you know, I think my company will be very interested. And he started to explain. He said, many countries have limitations. You cannot import tobacco products. But with this, you're not importing nothing. You just sell them the, I don't know, Philip Morris pad. They will print their name on it. And they will sell some different files of different types of cigarettes and cigars. And there is no issue. And it will cost nothing for them. They don't have to produce the cigars in order for the user to get the effect, the attributes that he would get from smoking the cigar or the cigarettes. So no heart damage, no lungs damage. See where it goes? I mean, it's unbelievable. And he immediately wanted to talk with me and Professor Harlick, which you will see soon. And we gave them a quote to do the research for them, to build a device that they can later on scale up in their production, and come up with a line of products of getting the benefits of nicotine, which is a very good substance for our health. Every cell in our body has receptors for nicotine and also for CBD, for cannabis, by the way. So these are good for us. They put other 120 poisons to make people addicted to the cigarettes, but the nicotine itself, it's a medicine. People who were smoking during the pandemic didn't catch anything, just so you know. So I sent the proposal, and we didn't hear back, be honest, but he was blown away. I mean, he could see the possibilities of what can be done with such technology. Okay, so for your knowledge and entertainment, you can visit that website. I'm not affiliated with them. I don't care. I don't use them. And just see. Let me show you. I think the next slide will show you. Yeah. Okay. You can choose here. You see, it's one of many pages. As you can see, 350 pages, and each page has. You can see here, if you want to have a whatever curcumin or cinnamon or diabetes 2 complex or dandelion leaf extract, instead of buying dandelion plant, you see, you buy the file, you download the file that somebody already did the work for you. You put a glass of water and you play the audio file that you buy from them, which is cheap, very cheap, and you can use the file for forever, as many times as you want, because you have it already. You purchased it, and you don't need to buy a dandelion leaf extract. You just drink the water, and it's as if you consumed dandelion leaf extract. So they have here, you can filter all the files that they have by the system in your body. You can see here, it's hard to see, but blood and cardiovascular, digestive, respiratory, whatever, all the systems in the body, urinary, I see here. And then you can filter by source. It can be vitamins, minerals, it can be so many different things. And they also have for moods, for depression, for high blood pressure, pains, whatever you can think of. And many people that come, not many, a few very known people that are presenters at the Tesla Tech, they are here also selling their files. One of them is Dr. Pollock with the fourth phase of water. He's there too, selling his files too. And Luc Montagnier also, there are here things about him too. This from our perception, and we didn't even have a clue that this is possible. And people are buying it. You know why? Because it works. You know, it wouldn't work. People say, it's hoax, it doesn't work. But it works. But then comes the question, why it works? But Luc Montagnier and Hieronymus proved already that it works, no matter if you believe or not. The bugs killed the were killed by the Hieronymus machine, and the bugs didn't know that somebody did it for in order to get rid of them. It worked. So here is something that you may not know. Tesla, our beloved Tesla, he knew, he was around where these experiments and these devices were invented and they were sold on the market. And he came up with the winner. No, Tesla. Tesla came up with much more powerful, simpler to use, user-friendly, and better design of a scalar machine, because it is a scalar machine. It produces a scalar energy, scalar field. He even incorporated many more features in his healing, scalar healing. And on the right photo, you can see the machine that I built doing this upon request. And the photo is of my middle daughter. I have 3 daughters, so she's the middle one. Her name is Shelly. Some of you that visited or participated in the conferences know Professor Harley. This is his photo. Short bearded man, very sweet man. He is a very distinguished professor and scientist. He has a whole lab in his home. It's unbelievable, the amount of equipment that he has. So Professor Robert Harlick demonstrated at Tesla Tech how he was able to change the electromagnetic characteristics of water using the Tesla machine. Keep reading. At the 2018 Extraordinary Technology, the Tesla Tech Conference, Professor Robert Harley presented, and you can purchase it from Steve. There is a presentation for sale that he's talking about this, and he mentions my name as the builder of the machine. Professor Harley presented on how conscious intention, because the test machine uses the intention, well, can measurably alter the electromagnetic characteristics of water, specifically by changing its impedance of the water, the bonding angles between the hydrogen and oxygen, H2O. He demonstrated that water subject to intention shows distinct changes in how it accepts or rejects signals from an analyzer. Its structured water often exhibiting lower boiling points, meaning the water are boiling at a lower temperature than 212, and reduced surface tension, all by using Professor Harlick intention, and it's all in his presentation. It's very interesting to watch, because I taught him how to do it. He did it, then used the machine. He has the machine in his lab, and Professor Robert Harlick, I keep reading, used these experiments. His in a pure scientific lab setting. So it's not a hearsay. He said, yeah, I tried it, it works. He's a scientist. He measured everything. He documented everything. Everything could be verified and redone and remeasured and reproduced. I mean, we are not talking about, somebody that just trying to say. He could prove it. And he presented his results in other international conferences as well, not only the Tesla Tech. So let's look inside Tesla Scalar Healing Machine. Photo here shows, look at the bottom part of the photo, okay? On the left side, you can see the two coils that creates the scalar field. On the right side, there is the circuit of the frequency generator that is energizing or driving the two coils. And on the right photo is a close-up. Look at the left side. You can see two black strips. Each one of them has a coil that is wrapped with insulation tape, with a zip tie that is holding the insulation tape. So you see two coils and a thin white plastic in between them. Okay. And if you go back to the middle photo, in the cover, you see the potentiometers and knobs and switches and lights. Okay, here's the principle of operation. The Tesla Scalar Healing Machine generates a pulsed scalar field at one frequency only, 528 Hertz. Some of you know that 528 Hertz is also called the love frequency. So this is for the more spiritual, okay, people. They call it the love frequency. But let me tell you something. In very professional scientific labs all over the world, when they do DNA research, if they have a DNA that in a petri dish that is kind of not perfect, not completely healthy, and they put it in a chamber and radiate with 128 hertz. It's an audible tone, you can hear it. Put it there before they go for their weekend, off days. They come back Monday out from this audio chamber. They check the DNA. It's perfect. It's healed. Everything is corrected. This is a fixing and healing frequency. So very interesting, and it's really useful in the real world. It's not only, woo-woo talk or something. So the scalar field is generated by positioning two identical electromagnetic coils. So how do you make a scalar field? You take two electromagnetic coils and you position them very close to each other, opposing each other. The way the current flow in them is done that they are opposing each other. So each pulse, they are like producing a wave, two waves that are colliding, like boom, 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 528 times per second. Okay, so let's read it again. The scalar field is generated by positioning two identical electromagnetic coils, simple coils, opposing each other and are very close to each other. Both coils are pulsed at the same time. Boom, 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 and creating the pulsed scalar field. So what happens is, let me make it visually clear. The two coils are here, boom, fighting each other, and the scalar field is generated this way. So the electromagnetic field in the coils is pushing this way, colliding with each other, and creates a scalar field at 90 degrees all around the coils. This is how scalar field is generated. And then Tesla surprised everybody else by saying that in order to amplify the intent that we will talk shortly about, the personal intent, an elongated quartz crystal, as you can see in the right bottom photo, is positioned inside the coil. So the way that the coils are made, they are hollow. There is a room to insert here a crystal, quartz crystal, that is long enough to cover the length of both coils. Okay, and it's fixated there. And this crystal amplifies the intent or the force dimension up to 30 times, according to Tesla's findings. Nobody ever done this before Tesla. Nobody. Building a scalar field coils that are using crystals as well. So I keep reading here. The machine has a slot on the back of it, which is used to insert a photo. Remember, photo. The energy has consciousness. It wants to know where to go, who to help, what to do. And on the in front of the photo, you put a note, a piece of paper, and you write the name, the description of what the issue is. If it's a disease, if it's cancer, if it's success, if it's winning the lottery, I don't care. You put your intent on the top of the photo. It can be you, anybody else, relationship, hardship, depression, whatever, diseases. So you put the photo in the machine, and in front of it a note with the short description, what the issue is. The energy, the scalar field needs to know who to go to and what to do. It's like asking God, please do this and that. So God said, okay, tell me what the issue is. I'll do something for you. Okay. having also, a tense unit. But this is not only a simple tense unit that you get pulses. These are pulses with intention that are amplified up to 30 times stronger. This is Tesla. This is serious stuff. So one way is sitting next to the machine and holding these two uh, tubes, copper tubes, and the user feels the pulse frequency in addition to getting the treatment from the scalar field that the intent is amplified. The second method is a non-contact or remote treatment, remote healing, if you will, which is done by letting the scalar field propagate through the ether and inject into the universe. So what we think we know, that the scalar field is all over the universe, let's say. It's all over. It's a field by its own. And remember, in that field, it is proven that there is no time lag. So if something happens in one side of the universe and there are these entangled particles, on the other side of the universe, it happens without any delay. So when you're using the scalar field, whatever you want immediately spreads through the universe, and the universe job is to be a very kind waiter. When you go to a restaurant, the waiter, if it's nice enough, he tells you, listen, we have everything you can wish for. Just tell me what you want and I will bring it to you. So this is kind of the thing about the scalar field. We can do whatever we want. It's like a computer that we can program, or if we know the language. So this machine, that healing machine, can do both. It can do much more than that. We will see shortly. So it can do contact healing and remote healing. Now, I want here to say something. And this is we learned it in the research. People who got the shots or the so-called vaccines, they should do only a remote treatment, even if they sit next to the machine. I'll tell you what we found out. We found out that if they hold the tubes and they get the frequency, the pulses into their body, these pulses can, not only from this machine, but from the machine, or even from the Wi-Fi around you, this energy can help the nanobots and whatever that was in these shots to self-assemble, and they benefit from getting this extra lower level energy. So we don't want to help them. We don't want them to self-assemble in the body. We can talk in another time what to do, how to wipe them out of the body and to stop them from self-assembling. But this is I don't want to change the subject here. So with these people, you better treat them remotely. So even they can sit next to the machine, they should not use the contact probes. Okay. And here is another surprise that Tesla included in his scalar machine. The machine can actually charge water, food with intent just like the eParty.com. You can do it with that machine. You just express your intent. You can enhance the strength of medicines and natural remedies by placing them near the machine and following the protocol, the operating procedure. And here's another feature. The machine has another skin treatment feature, which enables the machine to perform iontophoresis, which is conducting microcurrents through the skin and heal the skin even deep in beyond the skin, the joints and muscles and anything that needs healing. It eliminates wrinkles, proven. This is a proven fact. When to eliminate wrinkles, he's using this machine, and the more he's using, the more the wrinkles are disappearing. The skin becomes younger. So this is included in the Tesla Scalar Healing Machine. And the treatment on the skin is done, as you can see in the image, by attaching skin electrodes to the desired area and conducting the pulsed frequency through the skin. So how do you operate the Tesla machine? This is a third photo, as about, it can be human or a pet, plant, fish, crop field, whatever. And in front of the photo, the user puts a note of what the issue is. It can be anything that needs, that person needs to or want to. And then after inserting the photo and the note, when the machine is still switched off, it's not on yet, the user creates an intent prior switching on the machine. And this is a crucial part of the whole thing, because you see, we are talking about intent. Intent is a significant force, and we better focus the force to exactly where we want the force to go and influence. And this is maybe the first machine that you ever heard of that is connecting your intent and hope and wishes to a technological device that can take your intent and amplify it up to 30 times stronger. So when creating the intent, the user has to be calm, balanced, and connect to a place of love to himself and to the treated object, person, or whatever. And I put here this photo that shows a woman touching her heart, really has an intent. You can tell that he has an intent of sort. This state of being is crucial for your switching, because the purer the intent, the cleaner the intent, better results you will get. But it works in life anyways. The more focused you are, the more you know what you want, the more accurate you are, your chances of succeeding are much higher. So it's the same idea. Now, for example, let's say the user, he wants to treat himself, maybe you, okay? Maybe me. But I cannot bring myself, or the user cannot bring himself to a calm state. He's mad, he's angry, he's not balanced. So he's not in their optimal state to make a good intent for himself even. So what should he do? And Tesla said, no problem. He can contact someone else, a friend, a family member, doesn't matter, and ask them to create the intent for him, provided they are in a calm state and they can connect to themselves. So when they make the pure intent for him, they tell him, okay, we did it. Then he goes on the machine and he gets treated by the machine. It's interesting, but Tesla said the intent is the most important thing. The intent, your intent. So they then anything positive for the user himself, like his own healing, or for other people or animals. It can be, again, plant, crops, situation, desire, realities. Tesla has had a way to program the machine that nobody will ever be able to use the machine to hurt anybody else, because scalar energy can be weaponized. Many governments are using scalar energies in an adverse way. So Tesla didn't like. Now you switch the machine on for 10 minutes, it's enough. Then you can switch off the machine. I mean, the intent was amplified, was sent, connected with the big scalar field, the universal scalar field, and then you can heal somebody else. So if you have a machine like this, let's say, you can do many treatments throughout the day. Let me tell you, there are two guys that I know. One of them, you can find him online. His name is Tom Latino. He has a machine, not from me, that's okay. And he's offering these treatment services for a fee. And people, members are paying a monthly fee, and they can ask for anything, and he's doing it for them. He needs their photo, what issue they need to treat, and it is done. People are paying for that, just like the farmers pay to heal their crop fields. So it is done as we speak today. And I gave you a name of the guy that doing it also beside me. So the scalar pulses are generated in the machine are at we spoke about the 528 hertz, the low frequency. Tesla said that this frequency encompasses everything needed to accelerate any positive desired results. Just to remind you that DNA labs are using the same frequency to heal DNA cultures. So we know that it was, as we said, this program not to process any negative intent, such as to hurt anyone or anything. And here I show you on the right side the shape of the pulses that are very sharp, like needle spikes. As I said, that this is optimal pulse wave shape in order to get the maximum effect into the universal scalar field. Now I brought you two testimonials, which are in addition to what Professor Robert Harley presented at Steve's Tesla Tech in 2018. So here is a healer, massage therapist. Her name is Sigal, and she's saying, she had a went to New York to become a MD, medical doctor, and I don't know, they had some hard relationship, distant relationship. And one evening he called and he was so mad and angry at her during the phone conversation that he hung up on her. This is what she said. So she took she has my machine too. So she took his photo, put it in the machine, wrote a note that read calmness. And she did the intent for him to calm down. She switched on the machine. After about an hour, she said, he called back and sounded like a total different man. Like nothing happened an hour ago. Nothing. He was calm, happy, and laughed, cracked jokes. She was shocked. She said, I was shocked to witness the difference in his state of mind. So this is one testimonial. Here is the second one. I have a friend, shaman therapist in the Chicago area. His name is Michael W. Smith. He participated in some of the Steve Teslatek's shows as a vendor. This is how I got to know him. And he got a machine from me. And this is what shortly after he got the machine. I treated a war veteran who was in a wheelchair for years. And he was in another state, not in Illinois. So I used to help him remotely since he was in another state. In 2018, he got the machine from me, or early 2019, actually. I got the machine from Micha. I did the proper procedure, with the intent in the machine with this veteran, without the veteran knowing even. The next day, he called me and said, I don't know what you did, but I can walk now. True story. No kidding. And you have the name and you have the email of the person here, if anybody cares to check. Okay, coming to wrapping everything here. Thoughts, wanderings, ponderings. What are we talking about here? It looks like we have the capacity to literally program our reality using the power of our mind. We make the intent with our mind and accelerate it with devices, just like we showed here, and the knowledge of what we know about how we can use the ether to bring us the desired reality or the desired results. Tesla knew this. He knew. He lived in that era. And he did his best to convey this message to the collective. And he developed these machines as well, but nobody talks about it. We know just a sliver of the prime creation language, because actually we can imagine that whoever created this thing that we live in also had to create it using some kind of rules, or if it's let's say it's a simulator computer, the prime creator uses a creation language, which we just uncovered a sliver of everything that there is to know about how to create realities and timelines. This is what we are dealing here with. It's serious stuff. It's the root of everything. And we tend to forget that the 3D that we experience with our senses is mostly a reflection of what we think, feel, and believe most of the time. We all have nice, good, positive beliefs or bad beliefs, but what we understand now that if we mostly believe that it's going to be okay and all is well, more than 50%, let's say 51%, we are optimistic, we will experience a better life than we experience if we believe only 49% or lower. All the people say, oh, I'm so worried, it's going to be bad. And guess what? They are putting their fears, right, and their beliefs into the scalar field, the universal scalar field. The waiter in the restaurant, right? He said, whatever you want, I'll bring you. The waiter always says yes. Whatever you want, say, yes, yes, I can get it to you. No one. Oh, you want to suffer? Yes, I'll bring suffering to you. What do you want? You want to be happy? You want to be wealthy? You want to be famous? You want to fulfill your potentials? Just let me know. I can bring you everything, but tell me what you want. So it looks like we live in a computer program, in a computer game or simulator, and now we are starting to figure out that there is a way to affect our experience, personal experience. Remember, the observer. We can interject our will, our intent into the program. So we are like programmers, changing the code. Oh, you want a good life? Here's the code for good life. Give it some time, you will start to get a better and better experience in your life. And we are doing it anyways, because when we are happy and hopeful, we send a happy and hopeful code to the scalar field, to the universal scalar field, and the waiter is bringing it back to us as a good experience. When we are worried, this is what the waiter hears. Oh, you want to be anxious, you want to be afraid, you want to be miserable. Okay, I can fix that. I can arrange that for you. No problem. It's all in the mind. You know that nothing that our eyes are seeing is really solid, or you can say really real. According to the quantum physics, everything is moving, particles. Nothing is stationary. It's like Bob Proctor said, it's an ocean of motion. Everything moves. Our eyes don't see it, but it does move. Everything vibrates, frequencies, waves. That's the language, maybe. That's the software that the prime creator is using. So we are creating whether we want or not. So now that we know that everything starts with our mind, we can better think, wait a minute, I have to pay attention to what I think, what I hope, what my intents are in order to get better life experience, transfer myself to a better timeline, as we say it in the physics language. So we tend to forget all of this. But science, I'm now in the lower part, science proves from many different points of views that we can change many things in our personal experience of reality, our own reality. All we need to do is remember and use our mind and body as tuning device. You know, we can think that our body is like the Hieronymus machine or the Tesla machine, and we can get the best that we can out of that in order to live to a better life experience, to create what we really want to experience: love, wellness, happiness, riches, and not, diseases and desperation and frustration and all of these things that we are afraid. And we are sending these vibes to the universe, to the waiter, and say, okay, I can get more to you of what you think about and believe that you deserve. Because we are creating our reality anyways. And we cannot stop creating. So, wrapping everything we talked about, the conclusion is that we have to learn how to raise our frequency, and the universe will meet us there. You see, it's not a woo-woo thing at all. It's very real, backed by science, by machines, by Tesla, if you will. And we all love Tesla. So that's the end of my presentation for today. And if there is Q&A, I will be happy to answer any questions that you may have. If not, you can text me or call me, and we can take it from there. Thank you very much. Steve, you're muted.
Yeah, I apologize, everyone, for the sound issues that we've been having. Not quite sure what was causing that. Um, I don't know. Could be just the bandwidth we're operating on these days. I got this new computer. Maybe it could be the problem. I'll be working on that this week to try to figure it out for next week for sure. But if I think that if you did like the topic and everything and the presentation outside of the noise, please do us a favor and give us that thumbs up, because that will help um, the, the algorithms in YouTube find my Micha and me, and help promote this material. Um, I remember when um, this material was really considered voodoo in the technical world. It still is in some areas, and the I guess the coming out with quantum entanglement and other concepts all of a sudden makes the radionics field open up again. And the, for the earliest material, you probably find it in with Ruth Drown from way back when. I think she was in the 50s, and then with Hieronymus. Um, I don't think I have any T Hieronymus videos, but I do know I have Sir Hieronymus and her machines on there too, and they were probably related, and probably husband and wife, and she had a PhD. So anyway, thank you again, Micha. And is there anyone out there who has a quick question? I think we have one here about: is there any solid state sensor capable of detecting or measuring electric energy without a human operator?
That's a very good question. And this is what Tesla actually bypassed by inventing his device that doesn't need any sensing. You see, this is something that I didn't mention, and it's very good that you asked it. Tesla came from a different point of view. He said, instead of sensing and trying to figure out what the frequency is, tell the universe what you want, tell the waiter what you want, and he will give it to you. You don't need to sense. You see, the Tesla machine is so user-friendly, no need to learn. You just learn how to do your intent, and that's it. You don't need to sense anything. Now, when this device exists, I think you would agree that there is no need to try to sense the energies, although there are fields in physics and technologies that are very, very advanced. And I'm talking about technologies that can read your thoughts. This comes even closer than you think to detecting frequencies and intents and things like that. So to answer your question, there are things, there are sensors, there are technologies that can sense, and there are also what we call remote viewers. The CIA started this program with Hal Puthoff. He was the guy that initiated all this research of the CIA, and they recruited everybody that could do to have had these skills until today. So there are humans that can do it, and there are technologies that can do it. Hopefully, the governments will use them for good and not to harm us. I hope it answers your question.
Okay, I would like to point out that Dr. Herlick would be considered a source of measurements in that, um, and he's been able to do it, I think. And he doesn't use the human operator; he uses actual instrumentation, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Pure lab science, and you have this DVD for sale. I know from 2018 when he presented using the results that he got from my Tesla machine that I built for him.
and he may also just be up on our YouTube channel too, because I do have the 2018 conferences up there. So go up there and check things out. Uh, don't forget, we do have a conference coming up soon, uh, sooner than later. So if you can get registered for it, the sooner register, the better. And then also, you may want to consider getting our magazines and going to our YouTube channel too as well. Anyway, thank you again, and we'll be back next week. And next week, we have a gentleman named Dorian coming, and he should be doing a thing on plasma reformation. Anyway, and that should be very interesting for those who are interested in energy. Okay, thank you again, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.